So have you guys ever heard of the term identifying with something? Like I identify myself with this car, with this house, with this job. So I just want to make a quick video talking about that and talking about why identifying with something is, it's not only that it's bad, but it actually puts us in it lets us see ourselves as being less, as like we're not enough, as like we're worth less. So the idea of identifying with the self, the simplest way that I thought of was simply that when we have something that's outside of us, could be this shirt, right? Could be the car, could be the job, could be any random thing, but we feel like we are worth more with it. Like that thing increases our self-value, our self-worth. It doesn't matter what it is. Anytime when that is happening, that means we are identifying ourselves with something outside of ourselves. And we can like things, we can have preferences, but when we start to feel like something outside of who we are, outside of ourselves, is bringing us more value, then what happens is we are now attached to that thing. And if we don't have that thing, then we feel less. We feel like we're not as valuable. Maybe we don't feel as smart. Maybe we don't feel as beautiful. Maybe we don't feel as loving, as hip and cool. Maybe we don't feel as stylish because we don't have this certain haircut. You see, it could be anything, even our own body. When you really start to get down into the deep layer of this, even our own body. If we look a certain way, but then something happens and now we don't look that way anymore, and our sense of self-worth was coming from the way we looked, then it's exactly the same thing, you know? And so when you understand this concept, it's like, okay, so then that basically means I disconnect and I disidentify myself with all these things. I go in and I realize who I am, the person that I am, outside of the things that I have, outside of the way that I look, but who I am as a being. That is where my value comes from. That is where my self-worth comes from. Am I a good person? Yes. Do I treat people nicely? Do I treat myself nicely? Am I doing the best that I can? Am I right to myself? When we start to look at these things as like the value of who we are, then everything else, whether or not we have it or not, doesn't matter anymore. Now we become disidentified with those things. Now we become unattached with everything. And when we become unattached with everything, now we are truly free. Because everything has a time limit. Everything has a time limit. So therefore, when we don't need anything to make us feel that way, that's when we are truly free to be ourselves. Until then, we're constantly juggling in our life, trying to upkeep everything. Because everything is making ourselves seem to feel better. So this is a very powerful video that can stretch into books and courses and all this stuff. And there is, but just want to make a quick one just to kind of cover over the basics of it. So thanks, guys.